Alright guys, I'm back with my review of this week's TNA Impact Wrestling for December 27th, 2012, the Open Fight Night show. And I have to say, this week's episode was just okay. Had more good than bad, some good matches, but there was some stuff on here that was just really goofy, really over the top. One thing in particular was that bro-off. That was just absurd. So just kind of an okay show this week, but it starts off with Bully Ray coming out. He says he can't get along with Hogan. He wants to prove he's trustworthy, even though he lied about his relationship with Brooke Hogan. He said that they weren't in a relationship, so he's already lied to Hogan. But he wants to prove he's trustworthy. And he calls Hogan out for Open Fight Night, but just to talk. So Hogan's music hits, but Brooke comes out. She says her dad's not here, and he knows about us. So Bully Ray asks, how does he know about us? So I guess they don't watch Impact because he knows, because he saw you kissing his daughter after Impact ended last week. So apparently they don't watch the TV show. But she wants to go see Hawk and show him the man Bully Ray really is. And they leave. Austin Aries comes out and says he should be champ. He had Hardy beat last week. Austin Aries had this nasty-ass bruise on his bicep. It looked like someone beat the shit out of him. I don't know what the hell happened with that, but he calls out Bobby Roode, and he says that he wants to challenge him for Open Fight Night, but he only wrestles in the main event, and this will decide who gets to take out Hardy next. So Samoa Joe comes out and calls out the mustache member of the Aces and Eights. Joe chokes him out, beats him clean. This guy, we haven't even seen who he is. He hasn't taken the mask off, and they've already buried him. So Joe makes this guy pass out. The ref rings the bell. He's about to take his mask off, and the Aces and Eights come out to make the save, scare Joe off. Typical burial of the Aces and Eights as usual. Robbie E. and Jesse get into it backstage. They're insulting each other, but they're both just really stupid. And Robbie E. says, let's have a bro-off later. And then we see Kenny King talking with Christian York backstage. And Kenny King is awesome with these backhanded compliments he's giving him. He says, I really like the way you came in. It was just like how I came in, except I did it way before you. So just stuff like that, but I think it's working for him. He tells Christian York that when he wins the X Division title, he'll give him a title shot. Step your game up. So that was great. Robbie E. with Rob Terry versus Jesse with Tara in a bro-off. My God, I can't even believe what I'm about to say here. So Robbie E. gives him the rules for the bro-off, and he starts dancing. And Jesse, it's his turn, so he decides he's just going to pose. And he flexes. It was very Chris Masters. And then he picks Tara up and does the press with her. And then Robbie E. says he's disqualified for saying dude instead of bro. So Robbie T. wants to be in the bro-off. He poses. He picks up Robbie E. He dances. Robbie E. and Jesse look at each other. They're both in shock. And then Rob Terry leaves. I have no idea what the purpose of this was other than to put over Rob Terry. None of this makes any sense. I mean, they're not really pushing any of these guys. I have no idea. RVD calls out Christian York. And Kenny King's backstage. He thought it was going to be him, but it's Christian York. Why not call out Matt Morgan? You know, the guy who's laid you out multiple times now. But RVD calls out Christian York. And this was actually a pretty good match here. He goes for the monkey flip. York knees him in the face. One thing I didn't like about this was Taz on commentary. This guy, he sounds so bitter that Kennelly is doing a better job than he is. That he's always got this bitter attitude out there and trying to put down Kennelly. And you could really tell in this match. Like, he's jealous that Kennelly knows the names of Christian York's moves. So instead of trying to, do his job and maybe learn some information about the guys, Taz's response is to let's make it sound stupid to know information about the wrestlers. What a fucking prick. So he tries to make it sound like you're a moron for knowing that much about the guy. It's his job, Taz. Please fire this fat bitch. God, I hate him. So anyways, Christian York actually looked pretty strong in this match, but RVD wins with a frog splash, but it was good. Devon tells the Aces that the guy he wants to recruit is a little arrogant, and they got to make him feel like he's part of the group. So they have Doc bring in some strippers. That's their plan. They're going to bribe him with strippers. Another Joseph Park training video. He thinks he's doing good, and they talk about how he snapped last week and hit the black hole slam. This was pretty funny. Kazarian and Daniels say that they have one last present, and Bobby Roode says he's going to defeat Austin Aries, go on to defeat Jeff Hardy at Genesis. Another Sting video. Nothing really new there. It's Sting. He's returning. Christopher Daniels comes out, and he calls out AJ Styles. So AJ's music hits, and he comes out, but it's really Kazarian just wearing his ring gear. And he does a great impersonation of AJ Styles, I thought. He cuts this little promo acting like AJ. He says he's going to go find Claire Lynch. Chavo and Hernandez come out, and they say that they had a better year than Christopher Daniels and Kazarian. So they challenge him to open fight night. This was a good tag match. Kazarian goes for the springboard forearm, misses. Chavo hits the frog splash for the win. At first, I was kind of like, oh, Hernandez and Chavo, I just don't really care about this. I really like Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, though, but these guys clicked. I think they're going to feud again. I don't know, but they don't really have a lot of tag teams, so it's kind of like they just have to go back to the same old thing, but this was a good match. Hardy says he respects Austin Aries and Bobby Roode for what they can do in the ring, but he hates them outside the ring, and his revenge is coming. We get Taz's keys to victory. Poise and pace. Thanks for that. That was a huge waste of my time. The Aces are talking to the guy Devon wants to recruit, and it's Mr. Anderson. I completely forgot about this guy, but they bribe him with the strippers. He says he's going to consider their offer to join. Gail Kim comes out and says that she was the longest running knockout in history, or champion in history, until Tessmacher ended it in a fluke. So she calls out Tessmacher. This was another good match. I actually like this. Gail Kim wins with Eat Defeat. And Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode. Jeff Hardy is watching from the crowd. Everything gets quiet. The camera pans around his head as we listen to his inner thoughts from the crowd with the fan sitting behind him. This is terrible. I have nothing more to say about this. I think most of us agree that it's shit. But they continue to do it. It looks horrible. It looks phony. And it's just a really, really bad idea. But yeah, not only are they still doing it, they're doing things to make it worse. Like having him sit in the crowd while we hear his inner thoughts. Just, they're actually making it worse. This was a decent match. Both guys keep trying to cheat, using the ropes, holding the tights. Bobby Roode tries to bring in a chair. Hebner takes it. So Austin Aries tries to bring in one. He takes that. Hebner freaks out. So Roode and Aries kick him in the stomach and toss him out of the ring. They start fighting over the chair. Jeff Hardy sneaks in from behind and lays them both out. And that was it. That's how the show ended. So it was an okay episode. There was definitely more good than bad here. But some things just weren't necessary at all. The Aces stuff was really goofy with them bribing Anderson with strippers. The bro-off was, I don't know what the hell that was supposed to be. But yeah, this was an okay show this week. So that's my review of this week's Impact Wrestling. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's show in the comments. And thanks for watching.